How do everyone? Um, Subs, thank you for making your way over here. I see we're up to 5 now. And don't worry, I will show you. I have saved the video which has gotten me popped for my first strike over at that other channel. And one strike is one strike too much because they slam the door on you here. Take it from me, okay? They can do it without even, they just look back in your videos and bingo, you're gone. You got number 2, and then they send you that nice little thing there with the referee on it that says you're not good for this community, to make a long story short. So hello, everybody. I'm trying to recoup from a very, very difficult afternoon. Wasn't very, very difficult. I'm kind of used to, you know what I mean? I've kind of accepted my lot in life, as the British say, right? I've accepted my lot in life. So I kind of feel like as long as I have, a cold soda, life is happening in some fashion. So, but I am still, I am still tired, but I will, and I don't think I'm going to be doing any walking tonight. Maybe I will. I'm just really bushed, and the heat, the sun, until morning, it doesn't cool down. It just doesn't cool down. And I had to do things today during the day, and I had to work in the heat of it. So my nose is probably roasted, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, look, let's go through the markets. Let's see what's going on, and then we'll run through the news, okay? Thank you for being here, everybody. If you're new, you're not going to like me. I pretty much ask you to worship me as a god, but the good thing about me is that I only ask you to worship me as a god insofar as you worship your God, your specific God. So I don't ever ask you to worship me more, just the same. I think that's fair. I mean, you'll never have to worry about me putting you aside or de-subbing you or anything like that, okay? I mean, you should know that with that subscriber that's left now, for good riddance. What is the real truth? I mean, this person, I don't know if that was a Chinese person who's working like in a hospital. I don't know what that was, but when I looked at that movie, The Mist, that was the movie that he or she looked at, and I get the feeling it was like a Chinese person because that must have been like real banter between people that were trying to keep from killing each other, that were trapped in a grocery store of all things in Middle America somewhere or wherever that was, and you had these big transformer things floating around in the mist. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just kind of looked at it, and then they had the one woman there that was crazy. She's talking about God, and she's talking about, I guess, she speaks for God because she knows what God's going to say, and I tried to tell what's the real truth. That's not what I do. I told the people here that I could be their God, not try to speak through me and all that. That's other people. That's William Mount. That's what he does. He keeps saying that he's in direct communication with God. I mean, what do you want me to do? I listen to him every day, but every day is every month a Donnerstag. Yeah, I know Yiddish, a little bit. That's Yiddish. You know what it means? It means every Monday show, Thursday show. It's the same thing. That's this show, every month a Donnerstag. Now you can go around any Jewish person that you can see and they'll think you're real smart. Ah, folks, you know what? And it ain't cool yet. It's still kind of muggy. Yeah, and my windows are open. And we got this usual horseshit here where it's fucking 88 degrees or 87 degrees or 89 degrees, and it's fucking not a breath of air. Let's just go ahead and get to it. I can't bellyache too much. That's not nice, right? I should be grateful. I should be grateful for my situation. All right. My scam is getting better, by the way. I'm evolving out of the scam, slowly but surely. But I've been scammed for like 3 weeks now, I think, and maybe it's a month. I don't know. It's a long scam. Maybe I've got long scam. That's possible. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get to it. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to check JM Bullion. No, we'll check Bitcoin first. 19.1, and it's up $106. That's what it says here. Okay, so and you know, folks, I got to tell you something. Honestly, I don't believe this right here. I don't believe this. This is staying put at this very narrow band. It's going down to like 18.9, you know, 1880, 1896, and then it goes up to 21,002 or whatever, and then it settles right back down. I don't buy this for a minute. This must be being engineered. As conspiratorial as it sounds, I think it's being controlled. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at JM Bullion, and we'll continue on with the news. Okay, I'll just try to bring you through as quickly as I can. Let's see what the metals have done. They were down earlier today. Gold up $7 to $16.81, and silver is holding right now at $19.31, down 9 cents. So it has kind of recovered a little bit, because silver was down like 21 or 22 cents, 23 cents, something like that. So it continued its march. And here we go. So now let's go ahead and let's check out. I'll go to the NASDAQ because I'm not scam free yet. I'm sorry. So this will give us both the Dow and the NASDAQ, okay? Okay, NASDAQ is down 9 points, so it's just flat, okay? And the Dow is down 28 points, which is nothing. It's flat. So the Dow is now at 29,210. I think the powers that be are realizing that if it makes that magical drop under 29,000, that could be a problem. Just like Bitcoin dropping down under the $19,000 mark, getting down toward the 18, because you can tell when Bitcoin is going down, because Chris Green at AMTV, he starts going like just off the charts into religion, and you know he just, you know what I mean? It's almost like playing poker, and you can tell when somebody's bluffing because they just get very animated. And if you could see their cards, you can tell that's, you know, because some people do that, like they'll tap their finger or they'll, you know, do something. Like, you know, you can talk to poker players, you know, over the centuries, and they'll tell you all the tricks and in the behavior. That's why when you used to play poker, and you know, you folded, and you know, and you gave up because the other person, you thought they had a better hand, and you know, you folded, and you're like, damn it, okay, I give up, you know, there, take it, because I don't want to risk any more money. If that person looked at the other person's cards, let's see what he had if he would have beat me, they'd kill you. And I'm not just saying that to make it up for dramatic effect. They'd fucking kill you. That was one thing you didn't do. I don't know if they call that crawfishing or what, a crawfish, but whatever it was, I forgot what the name of that was. But if you turned over the person's card that beat you, because they might have a you know, an 8 high, they could have had a 2, a 5, a 7, a 6, and an 8, and they were bluffing perfectly. And you look at that person's card when the hand is over, and they will fucking kill you. And that's the way it was in the Wild West. You can be sure of that. How many people died from doing that? Now, let me go on here. And now we will check oil, because sorry, folks. Biden's got a problem with the Saudis. He can't believe that they could be helping somebody other than Toot. okay? You know, the country that Toot is tooting around in his $38 million spread down there, very close to me here in Miami, Florida. Thank you. Okay? Where he roughs it out with his blue screen or green screen. Probably. It's so embarrassing, folks. It's so embarrassing. Let's check oil prices and then off we go. Okay, it's down another 2%. So now it's at $87, and Brentwood crude is at 92. Okay, breaking news. Oil falls after API reports large crude inventory build. I got news for you, folks. That makes me even more worried right now because let's not talk about the obvious. Let's go to the over-obvious. And the over-obvious is the mindless fucktards here in the United States just can't wait to be told where to stand, what to wear, put themselves with these, and do as they're told to do, which is going to be stay wherever you are, work from home, etc., etc. And that would sure punch the Saudis in the nose. So we're not even going to talk about the over-obvious, okay? What do you think is going to happen? All it takes is for the three-letter organization that begins with the letter C, and then there's another letter like dupa, which means rear end in Polish. And then there's another letter there that's not far from the beginning of the alphabet. And as soon as they say something, you're going to have mass fucking retards here. And we already have it now. I'm looking at people today. They're fucking walking around with accoutrements. Okay? I could show you now. We're talking about people that are walking around. There's another one right there. It's just insanity. Anyways, let's get on with it. Because I'm just going to get into oh, by the way, I stepped on the scale today, 226. Are you fucking kidding me? As if I couldn't be in a worse mood? Ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. I walked 4 miles this morning. While it was cool. But that's why I should go out and I should walk. I really should. But it's hot. It's hot. See, you see my skin glistening, right? You know why? Because there's no breeze. It's fucking shut down. Like you're living in a fucking jar of heat. All right. Let's continue on. I will take us into the news now. By the way, I have some comments that I want you all to know. UAE reaches out to Putin, okay? I'm sure that retard there that leads our country, I'm sure retard there is real disbelieving of it. Can't imagine anybody that's against that dude. Kind of hard to believe, huh? Well, believe it, retard, okay? Believe it. There are people that aren't going to be on board. They're not on board. Stupid retard. Ukraine claims new gains after days of mass strikes. Kyiv lion badly injured. I guess he hasn't died yet. Poor animal. It says, world must be ready for the mushroom war. I don't want to say it. I don't want any problems. Warns ex-NATO chief. And I trust NATO about as far as I could throw whoever, okay? Elon rejects plea for Starlink in Crimea. That's what I want to talk to you folks about. I want to apologize to all of you because I feel some compassion to Elon Musk. And I know it can't be good. I know that, folks. And that's why I'm apologizing to my subscribers and those listening. You see, Elon Musk has lost his daughter. And he says exactly what the truth is. She's been taken over by leftist Marxists who have convinced his daughter that he's bad because he has wealth. So, just like I told you, that old Russian tale, if it's true, maybe my subscriber there will tune in and make a comment on it. Maybe that's an old wives' tale about, Dennis will chime in and say that's not true. But, the boy that turned in his father in Russia about taking 2 loaves of bread, and he turned him into the authorities, and then the father was mad at the son and he killed the son, and they held up the son as a great hero of the mother Russia, and that was like an object lesson for brainwashing. I don't know whether it's true or not. It sounds like it's true, but only Dennis can tell us for sure. So Dennis, if you heard that before, let us know, okay? Anyways, that's the problem over there. And I kind of understand it, but my situation is different because my son is like Dan Marino's son. Dan Marino is that Miami quarterback. And I never liked Dan Marino, but I sure as hell respected him as a quarterback. He was really very, very good. He was really very good. And he was a great quarterback. Even though he went to the Super Bowl and lost at least once. I thought he went twice, but evidently he only went once. I remember the game. I was watching it here in Miami and on TV. And I remember he lost to the Washington Redskins. I remember they were trying to come back, and they were trying to stop the Redskins. And John Riggins, that guy that used to wear his hair in a mohawk because he was part American Indian, he just let go of the run or a pass. I think it was a run, and I just remember watching him. Riggins was a big fullback, and he got away, and that was it. It shut the game out in the third or fourth quarter, whatever it was. It was shut out. Miami fell behind by like 16 points or something like that. It was over. They were, you know what I mean? So, and in those days, back then, like in the late 80s and early 90s, it was San Fran, Joe Montana. The Denver Broncos were very good, but they weren't good when it came to the Super Bowl. They would lose in the Super Bowl, like every time. So, anyways, let's keep going before I wind up getting off. Anyways, Dan Marino's son is that, I can't even remember the name of it, but it's like kids that don't want to be touched. That's how my son is. He doesn't want to be touched. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to have a good chuckle with or anything like that. It's just how he is. And I thought he was like, mathematically, I thought he was at like third grade level. But he just doesn't know his timetables, which I guess is par for the course now because the kids don't bother learning it. You know, they don't bother learning it. I mean, they used to really force it upon us to learn it, and they told us how important it was. Now the kids, I don't know if they even know it, honestly. But my son is doing this, to me, advanced algebra, and he's doing it, and he's pretty good at it. So I told him, I said, if you get good at that, I don't know about the Philippines, but in the United States, when you get good at math, you start getting the invitation letters to Ivy League schools. And if you're really doing very, very complicated math and you're doing it very well, they pay for the ticket for you to go see their school and stuff like that. That's the way to get into the schools. That and being a good running back or a good quarterback or a good ball player of some sort, that's the other way. And there's no middle ground there. You know what I mean? Now, what am I going to say about Elon Musk? I do feel for the man because he's lost his daughter. Much like I've kind of lost my son. My son has no interest in me. My son I don't know what he thinks. All I know is, it's normal. He's with his mother, and he lives in the Philippines. So, what could you expect? I buy him a nice bike. I try to buy him a cell phone, but I have to do it a little bit at a time. So he's not happy about that. This is his idea of me. Okay, this is me according to my son. Okay, I'll show you. My son's idea of me. Okay? Let me see if I can find it. Right here. This is my son's drawing of me. Okay? Does that look nice or what? Okay? I mean, I think it does kind of fit, doesn't it? Right there? And, he's very artistically inclined. He can draw with both hands. Evidently, he says he can do it, but he's left-handed. So I used to fuck with him all the time. Every time I'd try to teach him baseball, and it cost arms and legs, but he didn't have any interest at all. And it was hard. And believe it or not, folks, that's where I really first started to really understand. Back in around 2011, I really sent him thousands of dollars worth of baseball equipment, like catcher's outfits and catcher's gloves and all of that beautiful, beautiful stuff that was reduced to nothing. It was reduced to nothing. Like the shin guards were like $8 for the set, brand new, $11 for those, leg guards, and the mask was like maybe $12. I mean, it was like ridiculous. But he never had any interest in it. And in the Philippines, they don't play it. You know what I mean? They don't know it. They don't care. There's nothing to it. But I only tell you this now to help you people understand, and you kind of understand what I'm all about. But I displayed the same thing that people who are ultra religious. I was displaying the same kind of thing with baseball. It was like a god to me, and I treated it as such. And that's what I was trying to do. I was doing it with the fervor of religion. And Charlie Sheen, who was in that, I forget what show it was now, it's been too long ago, he claimed it. And by the way, he was in that movie Major League. Remember that about the Cleveland Indians? Who, by the way, now, they might as well call themselves the fucking hermaphrodites or the unicorns or the... They changed the name. I didn't even know this. They changed the name of the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians. And now they're in the playoffs playing the Yankees. I couldn't wish the Yankees more success. And I was a big-time Cleveland Indians fan. But what's next? The Cleveland Browns are no doubt going to be the Cleveland Magentas or the Cleveland Pinks, right? Or the Cleveland Polka Dots or the Mauves. Or the fuchsias. It's ridiculous, folks. It's ridiculous. I like the people from Cleveland. When I grew up, I used to spend every summer over there. They were nice people. Black and white got along. They did, for the most part. They got along. But they're like too nice. You know what I mean? Like, the people from Ohio are like a little bit too nice and a little bit too liberal now for me. Because it's just ridiculous. You're going to give up with what? Because the Indians were complaining? A lot of the Indians liked the fact that we take their name as a sports team because we're fierce, because we were strong, we were dedicated, we meant business. Yankees is a bad word too. In case a lot of you don't know, the Yankees might be the next to go, and then you'll be the New York. Instead of the Yankees, it might be the New York Zippers, or the New York Balloons, or something. Honest to God, folks. Yankee is a derogatory term. It's what the Brits call us Yanks. Okay? And, in the South, they have a term for Yankees. There's Yankees, and then there's damn Yankees. And the difference is, a damn Yankee is a Yankee that comes down and visits and stays. That's a damn Yankee. So, at some point, you have to stand up. And Cleveland, obviously, that whole fucking place they're too much of a pussy, that whole place, to stand up and keep their Chief Wahoo there, the Indian with the big teeth. I got those teeth, too. My grandmother had those teeth, too. I remember when she told me that joke. Everybody that knows my channel, they know when I told that. My grandmother came up from South Carolina. Granny Barker came up, and she said, you must be Powell. And I said, yes. And she had like this South Carolina accent, the who's Where's the hoose? Go in the hoose. But, she looked at me. She was a thin Cherokee woman. And she looked at me and she said, "You must be Powell." And I said, "Yes." And she said, "You know what? Do you know where I could find another rear end? This one's got a hole in it." And then she laughed at those Cherokee teeth. And then asked me where the nearest place she could go and get some smokes. And I told her just up the road yonder, which was 1.5 miles, which wasn't exactly walking distance for my Granny Barker. And she made it very clear to me after we were walking a stretch there, and she complained the whole way. We finally got up to the Minute Market there in Durham, Connecticut, and it was the main road, but there was no traffic on the main roads at that time. It was like, you know what I mean? And she got pissed, but she was nice. She was a good woman, you know. She was a good woman. But anyways, that's my son's rendition of me right there. Okay, I think it's a perfect likeness. Actually, I really do. I think that's a perfect likeness. Anyways, I do feel for Elon Musk. And now, do you know what he's saying? As far as I could tell, because I listened to this today, Elon Musk has come out and said, please do not try to fight Russia, because he's smart enough to know you're going up against the second best, if you want to believe that, okay? But they're in the top two. And that means it's not Lithuania you're fighting, or it's not Borneo, or Madagascar, going up against the second most powerful army in the world. That means there's going to be tank after tank after tank. Even when you blow them up, there's going to continue to be tank after tank after tank, etc., etc. Okay? And he started talking about just giving the Crimea back to Russia and start negotiating. Well, Toot doesn't want to hear anything about that. Toot wants to get everything back at whatever cost, including making a preemptive strike, by the way. Yeah, a preemptive mushroom strike that Egghead there, Toot, came out and said, and then he walked it back a little bit. So this is what we're dealing with. And Elon Musk is smart. And he came out and he said, I don't want to give my Starlink to the Ukrainians, because if they put it into Crimea, into that area, they're going to obliterate things, and I don't want to be involved in it. I think that they should negotiate. Well, Bite Me doesn't want to hear anything about that. Bite Me wants to agitate and turn this into a mushroom thing. And that would make us very controlled. Believe me when I tell you. Talk about not having internet on your phone, okay? All right. So I feel for Elon Musk, and I feel bad for him, because I think he's a lot smarter than we're being led to believe. I'm sorry to say. And like I told you, I apologize to you, because he's probably a prick, but he's got my heartstrings there, okay? All right, so let's get back to Drudge, and we'll finish this out because we're already at 29 minutes. Musk appeasement of Putin and China stokes fear of new Twitter policies. They'll ban him. They'll ban him. They won't let him say anything if he owns the company, I'm sure. This is the way, folks. This is what you brain-dead zombies want. My subscribers excluded, of course. They're smart enough to know all this without having to listen to me. They're already smart enough to know. That's why they're here. The rest of the people are like, hey, people are stupid. He's talking about me. Oh, we can't have this. You know what I mean? Stupid idiots. All right. So Elon rejects plea for Starlink in Crimea. And you know why? And I give Musk credit for that. I really do. And this right here, folks, is one of the saddest things you're going to see. Because like I put, surprise, surprise, remember that video from about 2 months back? Remember? It's been right around 2 months. And I showed you what was scrubbed off the internet, in my opinion, scrubbed off the internet, off Google. Because they don't want you to see that whole fiasco where the parents were so distraught, and then within seconds they changed their whole presentation to from happy to sad. Yeah, that was all scrubbed, folks. You can go check it for yourself. That's not my opinion. That's the way it is. And you can go check for yourself. It took me hours to pull that up because you have to go with other keyword searches. It's what they do to suppress, okay? Just telling you. At least that's my opinion on it, all right? Jury, Alex Jones damages $1 billion and more to come. InfoWars not going away. He said, from what I understand, like about a week ago or something, he said, I'm done apologizing. He said, that's it. I'm not going to apologize anymore to those people. And I don't blame him. Because you folks don't understand because you can't understand. You have the ability, but it's all long ago and far away. And most of you don't even remember it because it's a long time ago. And you're not going to be able to find any info on it because it's just what I told you. Okay? Yellen worries over adequate liquidity in treasuries. Economy faces headwinds, warns of geopolitical coercion. Coercion? I didn't know that they would even mention that word, coercion. You mean like what you did to us for something? Coercion? Like, you don't need to work, do you? Well, you're not forced, to do something here, but you won't be able to work. Sound familiar? Surprised they're even coming out with that word. Wholesale prices rise more than expected as inflation stays, quote-unquote, hot. Wall Street's fear gauge flashes another warning. I was listening to that hillbilly. He's a nice guy, but he is such a yokel. He talks like this, and, he's talking about hurricanes, and y'all. I mean, like, he is really yucky. Like a yuck. That's what they call a southern accent. I mean, he's a good old Mississippi boy, and I like him. But God almighty, he's hard to understand when he starts backing off from that microphone. And he's saying that it's happening similar to 1929 and 2007. There's similarities. When we had big drops. Could be. Demand for riskier home loans high as rates soar. Of course. Instead of paying $1,800 a month for a house, now you can pay $2,300. What's the difference? Right? Oh, I heard about this. Railroad workers' rejection of new contracts revives strike fears. You want to have problems, folks? Let the railroad stop. A lot of you don't understand that. 18-wheelers are great. They carry, like 40,000 pounds? Something like that. That's their limit, right? Unless it's a double. And they have limits, like they can't come off the highway. They have to stay on major highways, right? Those big doubles. Or whatever. I don't know what the rules are, but, you wouldn't be able to go threading your way through traffic down Boston, say, okay? Or New York City. But, folks, trucks don't do the majority of the pull. It's trains. Trains carry the vast majority of every kind of item, from food to everything else. Cars, everything. So if they go on strike, you better have some stuff put away. Okay? That's all I got to tell you. Just think of it like that. Like, you'll need razors. By the way, I shaved today. That look good? Okay. Recession. What recession? Say luxury shoppers, of course. Because they're benefiting off the scam, just like MJ. Of course they're not suffering. They're making more money than ever. They know how to manipulate those loans that came with the scam, and they make plenty of money. They have no conscience. They're just psychopaths. Hence MJ. And that's not unusual. That's just what they're doing. So you buy stock in a company that does something, right? And you're home free. And the people got to do it. If not, you coerce them, and then you're rich. Oh, and make sure you shield the company from any kind of blowback, because you Americans I just can't be trusted, because as soon as you got a little ache or a pain, you'd be suing, right? This is what you brought onto yourselves and brought it onto me too. That's why I hate all of you. I hate you. My subscribers excluded, of course. You're smart. Kanye West fiasco is exactly that, a fiasco, okay? I think he's good at one thing, and that is doing something to his wife there, Kim Kardashian, okay? Kanye West now wants to be called Ye, okay? Or Ye, or whatever it is, Y-E, short for Kanye. The Kanye West Tucker Carlson didn't want his audience to see. Folks, he's fucked up. He's so fucked up, he doesn't know whether to shit or eat a banana. He's fucked up. Go take a look at the Tucker Carlson interview. And, I mean, it's kind of like he's seeing what the Republicans are saying, but he's not a Republican. And he's just, they asked him if he had this, and he said, of course. And he said it was really interesting. Then they cut it off. I don't know what he said after that. But he said it was really interesting. Okay? So, there you have it. What do you want me to tell you? All right? What do you want me to tell you? It's insane. Some of the stuff he's coming out with is bizarre, to say the least. All right. Podcast scraps his episode after he uses more, quote, hate speech and stereotypes. You know, I would make more of that whole monkey business, but I won't, because at this point, with what I'm hearing about Kanye, he's mentally sick in a variety of ways, not just coming out and saying something like along the line of DEFCON 5, and then they're changing it to make it sound more sinister to DEFCON 5 or whatever it is, or DEFCON 3. You know how people will say death, some minorities will say, I'm scared of death, and they'll say it that way, and I think that's what that was. No matter, he's so messed up in so many ways that I can't even argue about that now, based on what I saw, because I saw some of this. I only saw some of it, but from what I've seen, he's just out there. I mean, he's good at making Yeezy sneakers and doing films with his wife there and all that, but that's all I got to say, okay? I know this is going long, folks. Sorry about that, but let's just finish it up, okay? All right, so the podcasts don't want him. Outraged Biden team vows consequences for Saudis over OPEC cuts. Well, that's easy, Mr. Egghead. All you have to do is tell everybody that they're going to die unless they do this and unless they listen very carefully and obey. And then everybody will work from their house and stay inside. And then you'll have oil again, where oil was, they couldn't give it away, literally. They couldn't give oil away. Do you remember? It's like 2.5 years ago, they couldn't give oil away. It was in the negative. So, Egghead, our leader, he knows what he's talking about. He's pure evil, folks. You folks don't understand that. He's pure evil. And there is a way for him to do that. And you know what it is. We'll reevaluate ties, okay? Congress eyeing no OPEC bill, okay? Questions swirling about. Who will buy $31 trillion of U.S. debt? It's a very good question, isn't it? Okay. Folks, deer in the headlights here. Have a boy. Okay, this one right here from the UK. Let's see what she has to say. Trust panics as markets keep plunging. And you know what we should do? It's a good time to be American in Britain as pound declines in value. So what are we going to do? Let's take a look and see how much that is. What is the British sterling pound versus the U.S. dollar? $1.11.
1 pound equals $1.11.
It's low. It's low, but it's not as low as it was. It went down to like $1.07, it looks like here, at one point. So there you have it. And we will now finish up mercifully. We will now finish up. Okay? Trust is the leader now of the brain dead, and I won't go any further. Okay, leader. Speaking of people that you would love to hate, this right here, folks, I'm sorry, but this Jism Bunchel, or whatever her name is, Jism breaks her silence and says that she's done with Tom Brady because Tom Brady doesn't keep his word, okay? Because Tom Brady loves American football. That's obviously what it is it not, folks? He loves his teammates. He loves the whole idea of this football bettering humanity, possibly, something like that. I know that comes as a big shock to a lot of people like Europeans. You think that it's go, right? It's not. It's American football. We'll go over it one day, and I'll teach you folks if you want to learn. The difference is not night and day. It's black versus white. I don't mean that racially. The difference is, the contrast is black and white. There's no strategic value in soccer football. It's all in American football. So she's pissed, okay? So she wants to get away. Imagine the filth of an American football player, how stupid, how they just want to smash heads with each other. That's what she's all about. And then she has to watch her kids go through all this. They should be watching good old soccer football. That would be okay if Tom was in soccer football, or maybe a cricket player who wanted to manage one more year. Cryonics facility in Arizona is preserving bodies to revive later. I can't tell you how many times that I bumped into people that I used to cut a yard for the guy, William Falloon. And I watched him as he got the girl. I didn't watch him, but I went to cut his yard one day, and his very fuckable, cute girl that wound up being his wife, because he got her pregnant and then told her to go get an abortion, obviously, because I was there cutting his yard, and everything was all strewn all about the yard, okay? And Bill Falloon was a little skinny guy who froze your head for $40,000 a year, I believe is what it was, or $35,000 a year. Of course, times go up, and freezing heads now is not what it used to be. Let me see if I can find this for you. Bill Falloon life extension. Look at his yard here, right there. That's him.
According to Wikipedia, William Falloon is an author, life extensionist.
He lived on
and
Rainbow
co-founder of
Drive
the
here
Life
in
Extension
Hollywood,
Foundation,
Florida.
the Church of Perpetual Life, and the FDA Holocaust Museum.
And they almost put him in jail because he kept saying that his vitamins, which he sold me one time, would extend your life, this and that. So they tried to arrest him. But that's him now. But he looked even more nerdy when he was young. And I can't tell you how many times that... and he was born in 54, so he's like 8 or 9 years older than me. But I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've bumped into people that actually know him. Honestly, I used to cut his yard. I know exactly who he is. Well, he'll freeze your body for $150,000 a year. Well, how much is just the head? Well, they got a special on that. It's $40,000. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you. Let's finish out the Drudge Report. Mercifully, this may be a record for the longest video I've ever made. Put it on right before you go to sleep. It'll help you fall asleep. All right? All right. Oh, yeah. Giselle there, Jism, Tom Brady's soon-to-be ex-wife, says that Tom Petty. Tom Brady was an inconsistent partner. I wonder if that was in the room of retirement, shall we say. I got to be careful how I say that. They're talking about splitting up the money. Folks, when you got that kind of money, what the hell is the difference? My goodness, she's worth $400 million. God only knows what Brady's. What is the? How could you even fight over something like that? I don't know. Call me naive, okay? Michael Cohen says he fears for his safety if ex-President Donald Clinton becomes president again. Well, I can't blame you, Mr. Cohen. Okay? Violent threats against January 6 witnesses spread on fringe sites. Judge forces Trump to be deposed in rape defamation case. Win beats Fed suit over Chinese agent claim. I don't know what that is. LA mayoral candidate Caruso declares he's not white, he's Italian. So evidently you Italians don't qualify as being white anymore, evidently, okay? Let's have a look at him here. Maybe you folks can relate. Maybe this is the new way. Maybe this is the whole new way. You wouldn't want to be, it's only the white Anglo-Saxons. I'd love to use the G word, but I'm not going to use it, okay? Let's have a little look at this. Let's have a listen to this. Tap to unmute. Okay, we have to go through this commercial first, and then we'll get to... I'm going to use it anyway. We're going to go out on the limb. Let's hear what Guinea has to say. Okay? Let's see what he has to say here.
It also starts with actually looking at track record and what we've done and what I've done in my past life. For so many years, my wife and I have been working for 40 years in the black communities, in the Latino communities, and providing scholarships and providing health care to those who can't afford health care.
How about whites that don't have money?
But quite frankly, my job as mayor is to connect with every community. The Latino community, the black community, the Asian community, right? The Jewish community. If one group rises, we all rise. We do this together in unison, and we don't separate, we don't divide.
Globalist.
But we all
Well,
say to ourselves,
he's talking about
we can
globalism.
do this, and we can have a better city.
All right. Well, evidently they didn't show him saying whatever.
He was going to find my daughter. He didn't tell me. He couldn't tell me when. But
Folks, I can't do any more for you because this is enough. 47 minutes of this is more than enough. Take care, subscribe, and be nobody. Bye. Thank you for being here. Bye.